When it comes to the child, be a unit. Be there, listen to the child, have the child with work. If it's your turn to take the child to a movie or school activity, you just do it and you communicate with the other parent. So then in the process, the child starts to realize, you make the child realize that you are not the problem. Grown-ups have their own issues. It's just that you happen to be there, but you are not the cause. I would say to people, everybody's going through something. And then you need somebody that will listen to you without judging you. Human beings, we all have to set the boundaries. You need to have your boundaries with family, with your friends, with your, you've got that own space.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we dive into real conversations on parenthood, relationships, as well as life's challenges. My name is Nozipho, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you where we get to be authentic and explore, and I get to share my own life experiences and my insights. Today with my guest, we get to talk on counseling, family counseling, and I cannot wait for you to enjoy this episode. So if this is your community where you want to have authentic conversation, please do subscribe. This is your place. You've found your place. So today we have the beautiful Mapesa Khanye. She is a specialist wellness counselor, and today we are going to be unpacking counseling in a family unit and just the misconceptions on counseling and how it benefits families in general. Welcome to Life Lately podcast, Mapesa Ninjani.
And thank you for the opportunity. It's an honor that I really don't take lightly.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us. I'm a mom, so me and Jay in my house, we talk your feelings. I always say, talk about your feelings, talk about it. And in our Black community, it's just something that we don't normally do, and a lot of Black people don't really do counseling. Mm-hmm. Tell me, how does counseling benefit a family?
Okay, Nozipho, thank you for the question. It's actually a very important question. Counseling in families is very, very critical because you find that there are issues in families, but because of fears that, maybe umalume or maybe uputilo strict, then people just don't want to talk. So if we do counseling for families, it helps, it improves the communication, and it restores the relationships, and then it also helps to resolve the conflicts. Because now remember, the people will be coming to a neutral person, and then also the approach that we use. Because if a family were to come, you didn't just take everybody and ask them to sit together. You see each one individually.
Oh, that's how it's done.
Yes. Okay. So that, because sometimes people want to talk, but they wouldn't want to talk freely in that space. Yeah. So you give everybody their ear, and then you allow them, you indicate to them, okay, give me now instructions. When you are together, which areas do you want me to talk about? And then which areas do you feel these ones you just wanted to vent, but you don't want them to be part of that family group? So that helps a lot, because then people realize they become comfortable, they become free, and they get the opportunity of venting. And then that helps with conflicts, because now you find out there was this conflict, but they didn't have a way of dealing with it. But now, because they're in this space and they had the opportunity of somebody listening to them without judging them, that becomes very helpful to them. And then they start talking. So in many instances, I find that very helpful to families.
So you individually take the time to hear what this individual is going through in a family unit, and then what happens after? Say I come, or a boy in the family comes and says, I have problems with my mom, I don't like that she touches me. I'm grown now. Will you now, maybe, that was just an example, by the way, will you come and now address it with the mother, or how does it work after that? Because we have to find a resolution or some sort of coping or tools, so to speak. I don't know how to, and then what happens after?
Okay, what would happen? Go that to give an example like that. So what will happen? Obviously, the parent will be the first one to say, "I have problems with my child. I see his behavior, whatever has changed," and then now they will book their session. So now, firstly, I'll sit with the parents, just get their story, and then I'll just sit with the child. Then after sitting with the child, then I'll maybe talk to the parents that these are areas of concern. But then I will continue with the child on their own addressing those areas. But now and then there will be that part where you keep on going to the parent to make them that these are things that need your attention. Because you cannot see a child in isolation. But then at times you find a situation whereby children have a problem that parents don't listen to them. Because the parents tend to take children's issues for granted. But once they realize the seriousness of it, because it might be a very small thing, but it needs that listening ear without judging the child. So that helps a lot. So that in many instances when I see children and then make the parents aware, they say, "Oh, we were never aware that this can be so serious."
No, I interact with a lot of parents, and in our circle we'll chat, and someone lately said to me, the daughter started wetting the bed. And she's a grown, well, not grown, but maybe 6, 7. She started wetting the bed, and this is new. Now, as a parent, instantly, you can tell that there's something wrong, something bothering them. What is the first step you would advise a parent who's identifying changes in behavior or anything like that? What would be the advice that you give me as a parent?
Yeah. The other thing is, firstly, remember in our space, people come to us for solutions, but we don't give advice. So we allow people to come up with solutions, and then we direct them to the outcome of their own solutions. Can you imagine if you were to give advice?
I know. That's also another thing. We say a lot of, I hear it a lot in our community. People say, therapy for what? Why do I go to a therapist who's going to sit there and listen and not solve my problems? And they won't even help me. The tools are there. I know that you're able to say, for instance, breathe. Try and gather your thoughts. I'm just making an example. I'm not the professional here. But I really encourage therapy. I'm a therapy person. One of my children actually started being very aggressive. One of these twins. The one twin started being very aggressive, and at the same time would cry a lot. I spoke to the teacher, and they said that even in the classroom, because they've got toilets in the classroom, she wouldn't go and use the loo. And I would talk to her. I said, what's the problem, Mama? And she really wouldn't tell me. And then eventually it was something like, when we moved houses, she has her sneakers went into storage, and we didn't know. And the twin has a sneaker, and she says, I buy the twin a sneaker and she doesn't have. And I was just like, the whole time I'm going crazy. I'm calling my mom like, right? She's just aggressive, and so you need to really pay attention to these little things. And this would have gone on to an adult that would have thought that I never bought her sneakers.
True.
And I just bought the twin. The importance of paying attention.
Yes, it's very, very important. So, and sometimes the parents' behaviors, they are the ones that contribute to how the child behave. I remember some instance I had this, you find this child coming, and then the school starts complaining of the child's performance, and then that's normally when the parents will start bringing the children to you. And then when you start listening to the child, you realize that the parents are actually the contributing factor. They are the enabler to this child's problem.
Sure.
And then now, because the child cannot tell these people, stop fighting, stop doing that, so then it's seen outside through the child's behavior that there is a problem. So that's when you'll start now talking to the parents that this is the challenge. Okay, please tell me more about what's happening at home. But it's also common, especially with parents that are divorcing, that you find that now the child is the one that's suffering, because sometimes they just will burst in front of the child, or the other one, they tend to use the child as a tool, so now you have to bring them together, make them realize that don't use the child when it comes to the child to be a unit. And then you have your own things there, but when it comes to the child, just be a unit for the sake of the child.
I have grown-up friends that are children of divorce, but they're grown now. They're also parents. And they speak on the challenges that they faced growing up, even though the divorce itself was not bad in the sense, now your reference to fighting, don't fight, ngengane. But with them, their own feelings were never addressed because it was just, there's one parent now, you're going to go from this parent to the next, but the problem is still there at the age of we in our 40s, we're turning 40 most of us, and they still reference to, if my dad hadn't or my mom hadn't, how do you assist a child with tools to make them still feel like they're not the problem in a case of divorce, for instance? What are the things that I know that you guys are not supposed to give advice. What happens now if I bring my child to you and I say, I'm going through a divorce, Mapesa, can you please help my child navigate this new life?
Okay, what we do in this case, firstly, you make the child realize that the parents love them. So, and you also make them realize that adults do have problems of their own. So they are not the cause of the rift between the two. And then that will be also helped by the parents themselves coming to the party by whatever you maybe suggested, recommended to them that, when it comes to the child, be a unit. Be there, listen to the child, have the child with work. If it's your turn to take the child to a movie or school activity, you just do it and you communicate with the other parent. So then in the process, the child starts realizing, you make the child realize that you are not the problem. Grown-ups have their own issues. It's just that you happen to be there, but you are not the cause.
It's a process, though.
It is a process, and it needs a lot of understanding and cooperation. So if the parents are cooperative, it makes life easier for the child.
Doesn't sound like a one consultation fix.
Not definitely. It isn't a one consultation fix. And then you might find, even if it's stabilized, later on, those type of children, you keep on doing a check-in. May you kindly bring the child back? I just want to have a chat with the child.
Oh, that's nice. You are able to reach out and say,
yes,
can we check on Thabo, how he's doing?
Yes, even if you're adult clients, you always will send them a message that if you have anything, please reach out. So you make your doors open all the time. Because sometimes, if you don't do it, the clients assume, because they said it's 6 sessions, we did the evaluation, so it means it's the end of the story. No, you make them realize that they can come back anytime. Because I also even allow my clients, because they have my cell number, that anything to do with your issue has got nothing to do with my admin or my PA, so you communicate with me directly.
Yes.
So you're welcome to send me a text. I might not respond immediately, but I will read your text and then maybe indicate to you, okay, you know what, based on this, check with Nozipho for an appointment, or maybe I'll have 10 minutes or so, I'll give you a call just to talk with you. So we always have that room. But you also try to find a way that they don't abuse that space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, Mapesa, I'm very curious for this. Even though it was such a helpful thing, my thing now was, is it unethical? Was it ethical to do something like this? Another person that I know, took a child to extra lessons. They were struggling, and upon using this lady for extra lessons, it turns out that she's also professionally a psychologist. When she did these extra lessons, she discovered that no, man, problem is not with the child. The marks are regressed because of school, of the home issue. So she called the parents and said, I need to talk to you. The child is struggling with your setup at home. How do you manage situations like that when somebody says that to another person, but they're not here for the counseling, they're here for the extra lessons?
Okay, maybe to ask you a question before I respond. Did they know that this person is also practice? Yeah. So, because maybe if I were in that space, the approach would be, I recommend that you take the child, you see a therapist. Unlike maybe just already talking it like that, because then the people start saying, now she's judging the child, because they didn't know about the other part. Like, for example, in my case, I'm also a professional nurse. So when the clients come, because it also shows on my profile, so then I would also say to them, sometimes you find that when they talk, I realize that this is more of a medical space. So I would say to them, I hope you remember that I'm also a professional nurse, but in this area, I would suggest you go see your doctor.
Okay.
So you bring it up so that they know that, not that you're taking advantage, but you're just making it clear. And then it must also show in your practice or in your cards everywhere that you
Full
also
disclosure.
have this.
Full disclosure.
Yes.
On the upside, it helped. I won't lie. I think even this teenage child got to be able to have a conversation with the parents outside, because our children are scared to address, especially address dads. With moms, we know. And you find that when you start having open conversations at home, it helps a bit, even with the behavior. Like the school will call you for a child with behavioral problems. Meanwhile, it's just a child being rebellious or acting out. So in those instances, I can imagine how difficult it must be. Like, what are the challenges that you faced having to approach families with a rooted problem from the parents and not the children themselves, but has caused the children to rebel?
So in this case, like I said, when you'll see each one individually,
Yes.
and then you get the story. And then, because everybody will be giving you instructions. Hey, this thing has been going on for so long. I would suggest that it comes up when you do the session. But also during the session, it doesn't mean you are the one that are going to come up with, ubani ute. You see, they start talking, and then in the process, maybe you would highlight, can somebody maybe go deeper into this area without pinpointing where it comes from?
So you can't be blunt and be honest in saying, your daughter has a problem with the way mom speaks to dad.
No, if you're sitting with them together, because remember, as much as you indicate that they shouldn't judge each other, whatever, human beings are human beings. When they go out of there, they change the whole setup. So you make sure that, whatever we discuss here, because it's under consent, that remains here. Please, no one must judge another. You are here for solutions.
Yes.
And then I'm here to journey with you towards your vision, towards your outcome that you're looking at. So let's journey together and keep the thing within.
Do you ever receive pushback from people that never want to address issues sometimes?
Yeah, so now and then, you'll have those, but you always find a way to make them realize the importance of why are you here, and then you really need this situation, this help. Look into it, but I would always say to them, go think about it, And then when you're ready, you'll come back. And they do come back. Yeah, because you allow autonomy. You don't say now because you are here. Yeah, it is, no, you allow them that space. And then when people go back and reflect, they'll always come back.
We actually found that it was triggered by the mom coming home with a new baby. And she was the last one all along. And so it was, you're not paying attention to me anymore. So it actually helped with the mom identifying that, okay, we still have our own time. I'm still your mom, but you have a new sibling now, and it actually helped. I think we need to pay attention as parents. We need to pay attention as parents to little things because we know our kids. We know our children's behaviors, so it's really important. To also, I hate having to always say our Black community, but with our community, we are not keen on therapy or counseling. What would you advise people that are just not for counseling, not for couples counseling, not for family unit counseling, not for anything, that just don't believe in it helping in any way?
I would say to people, everybody's going through something. And then you need somebody that will listen to you without judging you. So that is what happens in therapy. Because people think, no, why must I go? And in the stigma as well. Because that's another challenge. That's why in the beginning, the minute I start sitting with the clients after the consent and everything, then we go to the boundaries. Because you find that you are in this area in Norwood, and then maybe your clients are also in this area. So it starts setting boundaries. And then that helps because when you teach, you talk to them that they must also go and set boundaries. Then they understand that, this person said, because I would tell them that, we are human beings, we are social beings. You might bump.
Yes.
I might be the mall, we are in the same mall at the same time, bump at each other. So, and then maybe you are with Nozipho. And then now you don't know what to do. Say, okay, just greet me, I'll greet you. That's all. And then Nozipho might ask you, how do you know this person? People meet anyway. You can just say anything that comforts you, but you don't owe them an explanation. So you'll see that
that relief. Because we're scared. Also, we're scared to share our things. We just think maybe she's going to come home and pillow talk, but it's a space of safety and being able to be listened to without any judgment.
And then people start becoming comfortable. And then also the very issue of the family therapy, counseling for family, it helps with the boundaries because you teach them also that human beings, we all have to set the boundaries. You need to have your boundaries with your family, with your friends, with your, you've got that own space. And then you start knowing that, okay, people will know that, with this part, this is a no-go zone area for Nozipho. And then this one, I can compromise. And then also compromising doesn't mean bowing to another person. It means you also come to an agreement that, okay, how do we meet each other halfway for this to continue? So because boundaries are very, very important in any given situation.
It's so hard to put boundaries in place when they've never been, when people have just had a free roll on you. It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. But once people understand them, then they start realizing, this is actually the right way
I'm going through something like my sister suddenly put boundaries. I respect her, but she used to be like my go-to person. If I need someone, I'm like, can you come and watch the kids? And she said to me this one time, do you realize that you've never asked me if I've got plans? And I said, what? She says, you've never asked me if I'm busy. And I said, but she says, no, you need to ask. So last week I said, do you have plans? She said, see, better.
No.
And she's like, I'm actually not busy. I'd love to come and see my nieces and my nephew. I'm like, okay, fine. So I understand. But we take advantage sometimes. And boundaries really also improve relationships.
No, yes, they do. Yeah, because I have this friend of mine, her daughter just got have the baby. And then she said the other day, she said, oh, Ma, hey, I'll be bringing the child through. She said, I have my own commitments. No, Ma, but that other one has got confirmations, attending that. He said, you know what? Those are my friends, and I am going there. You must check with me if I'm available.
I died. My mom said that. My mom can't be busy if it's not my life. Like,
No
what are you
ways.
doing?
No ways, no ways.
No, but boundaries are very important, and
No, they are.
we don't set them early enough. In any relationship that we start, and when you do, it's like you being rebellious, or you now suddenly think the therapist because now something is different, and change is scary. The minute you implement anything different in a setup that's been running, it's very scary, especially for a family. If you're gonna advise people, a family unit, and say you need to put boundaries here, knock in mom and daddy's room before you enter. My kids will kill you. They'll be like, "I now I must knock," like things like that. So I think boundaries are important.
They are.
They are.
Yeah, and this very thing of listening to children. Remember, because now when the year started, I've been in most churches and stuff doing the issue of bullying, because the schools have just started, so it's actually much better. And then somebody was asking me, why do you choose to go to churches? I said, no, because I want everyone. Because when we go to schools, we speak to the children, but no, the parents are not there.
Parents.
So when I go to the church, the parent is there and the children are there. So you speak to them together. And then I also mentioned this issue that, some parents think now it's Nozipho occupying this position at work, and then now you carry the laptop at home. They think it's status. I said, you've got working hours, because if you leave home at 6 and you start at work at 8, it means you started work already at 6 because you left home.
Yes.
And then you come back. So when you come back, it's family time.
Yes.
So you sitting there with your laptop doing work, it's not status. Listen to your children. Pay attention to your children. And then the next day they said, this other one said, my child said, you see, Ma, I always tell you about this laptop.
And we always tell them that put your phone away. Meanwhile, we're not doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And our children learn by seeing and not by us listening to us, but what we do.
Yes, it's so true, because it's that quote, actually what you're saying now, that don't be worried that your children don't listen to you. Be more worried that they're watching you.
They're watching you.
Because they live exactly what they see. So your parents can also be enablers to children's problems.
Yeah.
So if they know, if they come forward, it becomes, because sometimes a parent will be screaming, saying, this child is not listening. And I said, okay, come. When you start listening to the parent, say, hi. But Nozipho is actually a problem here. Who in Kinga? Hi, Lengane.
Oh my God. Oh, no, we need, most important thing to take away from this podcast today, guys, is to pay attention. Pay attention to your children's behaviors. I always say to my kids, I'll defend you out there, but when you get home, I'm just like, Wednesday, I will sort you out. But out there, I will defend you, but not Gompeto, obviously. But if I know that you were respectful and you do what I teach you to do, I'm always going to be on your side as your mom. But we need to pay attention to our children's behavior. Sometimes most children don't even, you just see the little behaviors and little changes.
Sure. That's why if you find a child that's not talking like that, you opt to the mood cards.
What is that?
No, it's cards. I think they're about 32. They've got all the moods.
And then?
Yeah.
Tell me about those. I need those. I have one that doesn't talk.
Yeah, they're very helpful, because then you just give the parents those cards.
Okay.
And then they must spread them, maybe in the bedroom, the dressing table, you just spread them there. And then the child will anytime go pick up a mood. And then this is my mood today. This is my mood now. Because a person can have 3 different moods.
Yeah.
But then you start discussing that mood. Say, okay, why are you feeling like this today? Why? Then it helps you. And then you just get the jar, you just throw whatever because they'll write, this is my mood, and then why am I in this mood, and I put in a jar, then you discuss with them. That helps a lot. To
I
get the
can
children
imagine
to
it
talk.
also builds a lot of closeness because now you're getting to
Yes.
know their thoughts, their feelings, their triggers.
Yes, and then the children see it as a fun game, but it's beneficial because you start understanding the child more. Every day you know how the child feels. So you can anytime, even if it's during the day, evening, or you just pick up the particular mood and come to you, and then you talk to them about it.
Where do you find these mood cards?
I'll send them to
I
you.
think people, even adults, we need it also. Just, I have one of my sisters is very moody. She just needs a mood card. And she walk around. No, not today. Then we'll know. Don't talk to me. I'm not okay today.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Where do you find them though for someone that wants?
This is site I think is from Positive Psychology.
Okay.
Yes, because you have to register to be part of Positive Psychology.
Okay.
And you get some of the aids from there.
Okay.
Yes, but I will also share that link with you
Okay.
that people can access them because it's a sheet. They come in a sheet, so you have to laminate first and then cut them.
It's like coping tools, basically.
Yes, they help because children, especially children, they just come and don't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sis Mapesa, do you do grief counseling?
Yes, I do grief counseling. I do trauma counseling. Yeah, I do families, couples. Yeah.
What are the challenges that you face, especially with grief counseling? I know children are not good with expressing their feelings, but they will act out and just go through stuff.
So you mean for children or in general?
In general.
In general. Okay. So what we do when we do, remember, grief comes in different forms. Divorce in itself, it's trauma.
Yes.
So it causes grief. You have that. Yes. So when people would come, so I'd always take them through the 5 stages of grief so that they understand them. And then once you've done those 5 stages, you make person realize that they don't come in any particular order. But at the end is that we all go through those stages.
And what are the 5 stages of grief?
Firstly, it will be, it's not, let me say
It's not in the order.
Yes,
Okay.
it's shock. Then you've got acceptance, you've got bargaining, you've got depression, and then you've got anger. Within anger, there's frustration, there's blaming, all those things. So you make the person realize. Then after you've explained the stages, then I ask you, Nozipho, okay, I've explained this to you, which one of the stages do you think you are at as you are sitting in front of me now? Then that's when they start to realize, yes.
Start unpacking.
So, now today this is it, yes. And then I make them realize that acceptance, it takes time. It can take years to get to acceptance. But you'll be rotating among those 4.
I actually heard somewhere, I can't remember where somebody was saying that for you to get to the stage of acceptance, it means that your body was rejecting that particular thing over and over again until your mind was saying, okay, I'm surrendering, then I just have to accept.
Yeah, the thing is, because it's a process, there are things like sometimes, let's say, it's grief due to loss. And then we might lose the parent together or a sibling or whoever. But the relationship is different because now you find that there are things that you are guilty about, but I won't know and any other person won't know. So whilst you are dealing with that, you are struggling to get to acceptance. So you'll keep on pushing. Then when you are with people, no, I'm okay. I used to love my brother and that. But then when you are alone, the truth comes back to you. That, you know what, I wish I couldn't have done that. So now we help you. That's why then when we deal with grief, there's approaches that we'd use. It's either we use dialoguing, ask a person to do dialoguing, or maybe to write a letter to the loved one, because it helps you to. So with dialoguing, I see most of my clients would also love to use the dialoguing part, because that's where now you create the moment with that particular person. And then maybe in the evenings, you take their picture, put it there, you start talking to them. It's you and the person only. So that helps you to ventilate in your own space. And then with time, you start realizing that, everything is out. It's like now you talking, you see this person in front of you. And then if you write the letter, it also helps because you're taking everything that's from you onto that letter. And then every time you'll be looking at that letter. But that also helps the person if the mindset, because you know that I do my dialogue maybe at 8 in the evening, Wednesdays, or this particular day. So how that will help you is that when you're at work, you start focusing, because now in the evening at this particular time, I'm going to have a dialogue with my loved one or so, and then that helps with time.
You mentioned time almost 3 times. So everything takes time. Healing takes time.
Yes.
We need to be patient with the process. But mostly we need to communicate our feelings, be in touch with our feelings, and not rush. Time.
Yes.
Time.
Yes, because everything is a process.
Thank you for having this conversation with us today. I was enlightened. Thank you so much. I hope the people at home were also enlightened. If there's anybody that would like to reach out to Mapesa, we will put her contact details below and her website for bookings. She does family counseling. She does couples counseling, am I right? She does trauma counseling. And what did I miss?
Yeah, and then family, children, trauma. People come with anxiety.
Yes.
We look into that, and then any other issues they come, I will talk to
She's
them.
your
but
person.
yeah.
She's a good listener, I can tell you now. But thank you guys for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it was enlightful. I hope you guys got to learn something today from Mapesa. You guys have a good day, good evening, whatever time you're watching today. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe. Thank you so much.